investing in China can be a risky thing to global investors. That's the way they perceive it. How do you think about that relative to the other risks they're already carrying in their portfolios?
I think that every place is risky. And so we're talking about relative risk, okay?
Yeah.
I think Europe is very risky when monetary policy is almost out of gas and we have the political fragmentation and they're not participating in the technology revolution. And I can go on and on as to why I think Europe is very risky. I think the United States is very risky in its own ways, having to do with the combination of the wealth gap, the political system, the conflict between socialism and capitalism that'll be part of our election, the fragmented decision-making, the so many different things, and the absence of the effectiveness of monetary policy when we get to be operating that. I think emerging markets in their own ways have their own distinct risks. And I think that China has its own particular distinct risks, which are all different. And I think when I look at it, I think that it's less or no more risky in the totality than other markets. And I think what is most risky is not to have a good diversification of those markets. In addition, the Chinese have more ability to deal with monetary and fiscal policy relative to the United States. I'm not saying everything's a plus. There are pluses and minuses. But as you know, one of my big concerns, and I've got a number of big concerns about the West, the United States, and some of the issues that are facing the Western economies. And among those are the inability of central banks to be as effective when interest rates get to zero and quantitative policies, quantitative monetary easing, is not as effective. So let me pause on that and touch on that. If you look at the difference in interest rates to zero and the capacity of fiscal policy to be coordinated, they have a lot more room to be managing those things, and they are managing. I mean, if we, I don't know how long I've heard, everybody say, okay, the debt problem is going to be a problem there, and so on. Again, I'd suggest you read the dynamics in my book about the nature of debt and what countries can do when the debt is in their own currency. I also think that not investing in China is very risky. I mean, think about it. Here we are in the early part of the 21st century, and there's this emergence of China. Do you really want to make the decision not to invest in China and not to be there in the future? Look, I believe every place is risky. I'm very risk focused. I tend to see things that are going to go wrong. I have an inclination to do that. So I think every place is risky, which is why I like the notion of diversification. I just want people to see China objectively. Like I know over this past number of years that I have been very pro-China, very bullish on China in its various ways. And people say, why are you so bullish on China? And I know it's very controversial to be, particularly at this time, to be very bullish on China. I just want to let you know that I'm sincere, okay? I've been there because I hope you know by now that my main objective is to be as accurate as I possibly can. Yeah, I really admire what is being done, and I want to be a part of it, and I think our investors should be a part of it.